Welcome to the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show, a broadcast service of globalbusinessnews.net.
Now, here's your host, Ed Cohen.
Hi, this is Ed Cohen, broadcast host of Global TV Talk Show, a service of globalbusinessnews.net. Go and check it out, globalbusinessnews.net. Free access, free download. It's almost 1,000 pages of stuff. You don't have to see it all, but just see this and tell a friend. This is cool. Here's our very special guest today. Alan Koski is President and Chief Innovation Officer of a new thing called Insured Tech, and the company is called, Alan, what's the name of the company?
Yeah, so we have a unique company called Insured Nomads, and it's following in the tradition of people that are very mobile globally. Certainly after the pandemic, we expect to see many, many more nomads. And today, I think one of the interesting things we'll talk about is the rise of the digital nomad and what some of these countries are doing to engage people to come work out of their company in a digital environment.
I love that idea. So in your LinkedIn page, you talk about something to do with a social contract with NGOs, and you also talk about Insured Tech. So let's tackle tech first. What is Insured Tech?
Well, Insured Tech is empowering each person through their mobile phone, whether it's an Apple or Android device, to get the security, the healthcare, and the comfort support that they need when they're outside of their home country. So we provide healthcare plans, evacuation, but also some comfort items. If somebody finds themselves and their flight is delayed, they want to be able to get access to a club lounge. We empower that with a touch and with a quick little touch of direction to care. So at the end of the day, Insured Tech is really using an app-based environment supported by tools behind it to help you find a good doctor, a good hospital, a club lounge, an evacuation partner, a hot button if you find yourself in a dangerous or worrisome situation. So as you know,
it sounds great.
Phones are more than the folks went to the moon on. We think we can empower people to make great decisions if we give them the tools.
Okay, and what's the website?
It's insurednomads.com. You can find us out there on the internet. Just look us up. It's not to be confused with other nomads website. We're insurednomads.com. And I think it's interesting today. You asked the question of how we're working with NGOs. Insured Nomads also gives a portion of our revenue to good works, in this case, NGOs that we feel have great value, because we also think it's important to give back to the community and support people. So I think there's a new spirit of giving worldwide, and certainly with the pandemic, people can understand trying to support others that are in less fortunate situations than ourselves.
So it's just awful what's going on out there. It is 8 December 2020, and thank heavens this year is almost over, and we're looking forward to Lucky 21, and a lot of good stuff happening. So in today's New York Times, there's an article about the vaccine being applied to people yesterday, I guess, in Britain, and on an experimental basis here in the U.S. So, but there's also a lot of press today about, you need 2 shots apparently, and it doesn't mean that you may not get sick in between. It's just, it's so weird and frightening that science and business and government haven't come together. I'm not being political. I'm just talking about life and business. And what you're doing is giving people another security blanket. And so I congratulate you guys for doing that. And so the NGO thing, that is non-government organizations such as what, World Health Organization or even World Bank.
Organizations prevent sex trafficking, organizations that provide clean water to folks in locations where that's an issue, folks that also provide immunizations and health support. So just fantastic organizations around the world stepping up.
So Joanne and I are in our family property here in Maui for a couple of weeks. We had to take the test, the COVID test through Alaska Airlines, and they recommended a group called Carbon Health, right? CARBON, Carbon Health, and it's a tech medical group, and it was really easy and really fast and guaranteed a delivery of results within 24 hours, and they did it. And tied in with that, and what it was the tech did a swab, but didn't go all the way up. It was just in a little, and she said, "No, you don't need that. You don't have to do all that stuff anymore, and you'll get the results in 24 hours." And less than 24 hours, that I got an email PDF saying normal, not infected. He's like, wow, yay. All right. So then we knew we can go to Maui. And so part of that was the Hawaii Safe Travels website, super organized and all tech. And you had to fill out the questionnaires. And then we landed, I'll talk about the flight in just a second, and flight insurance and things like that. But we landed in Maui Airport along with 5 other flights from different parts of the U.S. We came in from San Diego, and also at just about the same time, there were flights from L.A., Denver, Seattle, and San Francisco area, Oakland. And because Southwest is now flying to Hawaii, it's a big deal. And so planes were full, other than the middle seats, no middle seats. But there were kids, there were old people, I don't see anybody in a suit and tie, but it was painless. And the flight attendants were very, very professional. You pre-ordered, it's all tech. You pre-ordered your food and you paid for it, and they knew it by seat number, it was like bang, bang, bang. It was really easy. So we landed in Maui Airport. I'll be real quick here. And there's like literally a mile long line before you get your baggage. You got to go through the system. And so part of the approval is proof that you're okay. And so they send you the test results in what's called a QR code.
Yes, QR.
Okay. And it's on your phone. So you've got to show that, all right, when you get up to the desk, all right? And so they took over a restaurant because all the restaurants are closed. Bars and restaurants are closed in the airport. So they took over a restaurant, and there are tables, and everyone had plexiglass, masks, and whatever. And so they asked us to, okay, show your ID and give me your phone up into that QR page. And they scanned it, with a tablet, and they checked it out and made sure everything was cool. And then they give you a piece of paper that they sign, right? And then you go to baggage claim, right? So all of that, once we were in front of the checker, took 5 minutes, there's nothing. All right. But getting there was an hour in line. And so everybody's just sort of hanging, and looking at everybody. And so I need to say that the whole experience of travel was rewarding because it was safe and clean and super organized. And I think that's a benefit. And so what is the role of having a travel insurance policy before you go to Maui or go to New York or wherever?
Yeah, well, I mean, and also tying into your story, you asked a question about our InsureTech earlier. One of the things that we're endeavoring to put on our InsureTech platform is when you do get the QR code, that also goes into your insurance platform. So let's say you were to take that same test and have to fly to Dubai. When you land there, your phone would have the QR code tied right into your insurance and show them that you actually have COVID coverage and that you passed the test. Because a lot of countries now want to make sure that you show up not only with the past test, but also proof that you have coverage in case you have COVID. I think this is going to be a really interesting area for travel medical. And it's back to the conversation about obviously you want to help people with their healthcare needs, but what it's also tied into the security. And the security portion of it is, did you pass that test? Evacuated if there's an issue. And also, some of the comfort aspects. If you're marooned at an airport because your flight has been delayed or canceled and there's no restaurants, like you mentioned, there might be a club lounge. So
good idea.
You could get into a club lounge when you're there. So I think there's glimmers of optimism on travel as more stories like you shared come out that travel is doable. I think you hit upon something that's interesting, though. You didn't see anybody with ties. So business travel is still not picking up. There's still a lot of Zoom calls. And we do think that if people are going to travel for business, they're not going to do what they used to do, which is travel to a city for a day of meetings and travel back. You got to go and typically stay a little while. And there are some places right now that if you were to travel in business, you would have a quarantine mandatory for 14 days. So that doesn't make it very helpful. But we are seeing a lot of countries saying, we don't have the leisure travelers like we used to. We know a lot of people want to work digitally. They're offering these digital nomad visas, which I think are quite interesting. You take a place like Estonia, which is wonderful. I've been to Estonia and Tallinn. It's a great place. And if you want to work in Estonia, you apply for this visa. It costs about $1,000. You tell them that you're going to make at least the equivalent of $3,500 a month, and they'll give you a work visa there for 1 year, and you can work digitally. And there's other countries that are looking at this now. You're familiar with Croatia, Costa Rica. We hear Portugal is going to be coming online. So many folks like yourself, you're going to be working out of Hawaii. That's a fantastic place to work out of. But there's also people saying, I'd like to go to these other locations as I clear out of New York, San Francisco, and other cities.
So I was talking to this lady who just wrote a book, and she her address on LinkedIn page is New York, right? And she worked on Madison Avenue and big agencies, and then retired, and now has written a book. It's called The Business of We, W-E, which means inclusion and belonging. Yeah, so it's fascinating, and I'll send you that show when it's available. It should be later today.
Yeah.
No, anyway, I thought she was in New York, and she says, no, I'm in Aruba.
Yeah. Yeah.
She said, when the pandemic struck in March, April, she got out of town and has a place in Aruba. And so it's on Atlantic time, 1 hour beyond, same as Rio, right? And she says, I'm not going back.
And I think Aruba is one of the locations that has the digital nomad visa. Because remember in the past, if you were a digital nomad, most places would only give you a 90-day tourist visa, and then you'd have to move on. And that's not really helpful in the pandemic. And to be able to give somebody 12 months is a big deal. And I saw a study the other day that, people that tend to be white collar workers, about 40% of them have said that they are now going to probably work in a different environment than ever before, or a different location. So it's going to be very interesting how that plays out.
So we did a talk show interview with Maria, who owns Corporate Relocations Greece in Athens. And the Greek government is very progressive in this regard and offering tax incentives and residency for people to, if they buy a house or condo,
Sure.
$250,000 and up, then they get a year or easy extension beyond that, and they agree to pay a certain level of tax, and they're promoting it big time.
Yep. Well, you're right. And other countries are even promoting, we'll give you citizenship if you come to this country with a certain amount of money. And that's even a debate we're having in the United States on our immigration, which is, do you have a separate track for people that are coming with, argument's sake, 200,000, $500,000, or $1 million? I do think what the big trend is, and this is that people now have learned they can work from anywhere, and people will accept that. Because if you think about 3 months ago before the pandemic, so we're talking about probably December of 2019, if you were working in your office in New York and you told your boss, hey, I want to work in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, I'm not coming in anymore, what would they have said to you? They would say, well, go find another job. Now people, instead of doing that hour commute into New York, they're working out of Bucks County, it's accepted, and people are asking themselves, do I really need to take the train for an hour, pay a higher tax rate, when I can be more efficient at home? And you extend that to countries too. So, from our Insured Nomads perspective, we think once the pandemic ends, and you brought us good news today on the immunization starting in the UK today and yesterday, once this ends, we think a lot of people are going to be in the environment of, I'm going to work from anywhere under my own conditions, and corporations are happy with that, because why would, I already know folks they used to work in 3 or 4 floors in a building. They're already closing down a couple of the floors or renting them out elsewhere because the company says, I'm not going to need to bring all these people back together. And I don't know if you're the same trend.
Yeah, absolutely. And now a word from our co-sponsors. Our programs wouldn't happen without the wonderful support of our advertisers. Here they are.
Something that's really neat is that the Bridge School partners with various organizations to provide learning for their students. For example, we partner with a major ballet company, and we are able to enroll several of their students into our school. So now not only is the student able to participate in a school and have a seamless transition while they're very active in their ballet career, but now they have other dancers that are with them that are doing some of the same courses. So it's almost becoming a camaraderie where they're taking similar courses, they're working together on their ballet, and really being able to form this great partnership with these organizations to provide a needed service. A lot of times there are student athletes who will spend hours and hours at the gym or at the basketball courts, wherever it is. And if they're attending a traditional school, they're in school from 8 to 3. They get a quick snack, and then they're at the gym for 3 to 4 hours in the evening. Coming to us and having that partnership, they're able to break that up throughout the day. They can have a morning practice, get some schooling in, have an afternoon practice, finish their schooling in the evening. So there's that flexibility. And additionally, if there are tournaments or performances, it's fantastic, because if there's a week where they have shows straight through, they can take that week off of learning and then pick back up when they're done. So it offers this great flexibility. And for the program owners of these sports leagues, it is a win-win situation for them because they see this need. They see this need that their students need to make sure that they are obtaining the grades necessary to be successful adults in our country and in other countries. But it provides them an environment where they can be successful at both.
This episode from the meeting room of Global TV Talk Show is brought to you by
The Bridge School, the accredited international online private school of choice, at bridgek12.org.
Porch Light Rental and Destination Services. Reduce your renter lump sum or managed relocation costs. Visit them at porchlightrental.com.
Cube Monk, featuring the world's first smart cube. Track your goods with our advanced GPS system. Welcome to the future of moving and relocation at cubemonk.com.
Primestone Partners, featuring corporate, government, and developer housing solutions, as well as senior-level advisory services. Find them at primestonepartners.com.
And by heirs.com. With our full range of services, we can help design and manage your international relocation. Find us at heirs.com.
Insured Nomads provides protection and peace of mind, with health insurance, travel insurance, group, or tailored insurance for the globally mobile. Visit us at insurednomads.com.
And by International Auto Source. We are the vehicle experts for expats, featuring all major brands of automobiles with flexible solutions and financing. On the web at intlauto.com.
Hi, my name is Christine. I'm a nurse from the Philippines, and I got to know IAS through Worldwide Health Staff Solutions. And I want to thank IAS, especially to Matthew, for helping me get my car stress-free, headache-free. And so I just want to show you the car that I got. So it's a RAV4 XLE 2020.
As an expat moving to the USA, relocating is exciting, but it can also be stressful. Getting a car, truck, or SUV for personal transportation is usually a high priority. That's where International Auto Source comes in. We make getting the vehicle you want for your work assignment or academic program easy, so you're ready to drive when you arrive. Our product specialists have helped over 50,000 expatriates with their personal transportation needs, making us the largest international auto retailer in the world. International Auto Source gives you flexible payment options to buy, lease, or rent a vehicle from the world's leading auto brands, arrange financing on a purchase or lease without a U.S. credit history, social security number, or driving record, get full insurance coverage, and get approved easily through our low-rate factory-backed financing programs. And because we're an authorized distributor of the world's leading automotive brands, our no-haggle prices are competitive, and the buying experience is hassle-free. We'll even guarantee your new vehicle will be ready the day you arrive. With over 20 years of experience in the global community, we are the vehicle experts for expats. We are International Auto Source.
Thinking that, and it's just me, thinking that from an economic development point of view or a redevelopment point of view, new construction of office buildings is not going to happen for a while in the way we know it. And there's going to be a reuse of these tall buildings where people can live on certain floors, and other floors will be regular office kind of thing. And other floors in the same skyscraper will be reconfigured to be manufacturing of stuff because of the reshoring away from China. back to the U.S. of many things, not all. That's a perfect reuse under certain tax break deals to have those buildings be productive. They're already secure. They have air systems, heating systems, water systems. That's what I think is going to happen in certain cases. I'll tell you also, just to end that talk for a sec, last week we did a program called California Bound, which has to do with companies attracting people to come to California. As you know, there's been an exodus to Arizona, Las Vegas, Colorado, and particularly Austin. High tech can't recruit people into California. It's too expensive. People won't come. But they will go. They will recruit from within California because there's no hassle. And they'll set up offices in different cities in California. Why bring them into a central place for full time? And so all this stuff is going on. So what's the role of protection, of insurance?
Yeah, well, I think the major role is giving you the comfort to travel again. And, the two types of folks that we insure are obviously the short-term traveler. Somebody like yourself is going overseas for a couple weeks, but also somebody who says, I'm going for a year, and they both have different needs. The short-term traveler obviously needs, protection in case they have an accident or a sickness on their trip. They need evacuation coverage to bring them back if they have an issue. And they also need a lot of information and comfort type products because you're not there for very long. So you don't have time to do a lot of research. Now, for the nomad that is going for a year or two to Costa Rica, they need a comprehensive medical plan. They probably need some dental, they might want vision, prescription drug, obviously is part of that. But they need a much more robust plan. They need a plan that will cover them for routine care all the way through catastrophic care. They too need some evacuation, but their need is a little bit different. They need tools on their phone that direct them to the best providers. That gives them information about the healthcare system, payment cards so they can pay the providers. A lot of places still look for cash paid quickly. I think that's a really important item. And before the pandemic, and I know, Ed, you and I shared conversations on this, before the pandemic, a lot of people went overseas with their domestic programs. And we've seen a lot of studies that when the pandemic happened and people were overseas, they found out those domestic US or their home country national health plans didn't do them a lot of good helping them get back.
Right.
Or them if they were stuck somewhere. So the amount of people we think are going to be purchasing global medical plans with security and comfort are going to go up. And it ties into something else that I know you and I like to look at history. In 1918 and 1919, obviously the world was at a standstill with that flu. And then what followed immediately thereafter was the Roaring Twenties, where everybody said, I need to go on a journey of personal exploration. I survived a great war and a great pandemic. Well, guess what? Our theory is there's going to be a lot of people who are going to have that same thought that I'm going to go explore the world, see the things I've been putting off. Life is too short. And a lot of that means global travel to unique situations and places. And we want to be there to support them and empower them. So if they get sick or have an accident, they're covered. Or if something else happens, like another pandemic, because let's not forget, we've had COVID, but we had SARS, we had MERS, we had Ebola, we have had Lyme disease. We have had a lot of diseases pop up in the last 20 years. And I think people for the first time are beginning to think, you know what, maybe we need to take our healthcare a little more seriously. Maybe we have to do a little bit more protection of ourselves. And I think together, Ed, with the information that you bring and the product that we bring to the market, we can make people feel more comfortable about their global travel.
I really love your story here about comparing or referring back to 1819, last century, with that pandemic. And of course, healthcare was way different. And systems were non-existent for the most part. And there's a mixing of so many people from so many areas that there was a lot of fear element of getting sick, much more than now, up to now anyway. So with so many people dying, it's really incredible. Is life insurance paying off?
Yeah, it's, this is one of the things about preparation is there are a lot of people who do not buy life insurance or are underinsured for life insurance. And obviously that's a horrible situation to be if somebody passes and they don't leave life insurance for that. Or the other thing that's just is horrible is people who have not insured themselves for medical and they survive COVID, and then all of a sudden they have an incredibly large bill that, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 after being in the hospital, and they didn't have the correct amount of healthcare insurance and support. So, I think this is a critical issue, Ed, and this is something that we need to educate people is you can't buy insurance after something happens because that's now known risk. So plan ahead. How about the people that die that don't even have a will? That's an issue that's even outside the realm of what we're talking about today. Plan ahead, take a few moments, plan for the black swan event that might befall us, plan for, the future, and use these scenarios to learn. And as a history person, I learned from SARS. I may be one of the few people who had N95 masks when this pandemic happened. The reason I had it is I bought it after SARS. I ended up giving them to my doctor who did not have them because he needed them. We did. So people, if there's a message to take away, set up after this pandemic a kind of what you feel that you could have used and protect yourself, and buy enough insurance and protective products that help you if this were to happen again. And Ed, I'm sure you agree, and you've got some perspectives on that.
So let's talk about Brazil. We have a Brazil talk show coming up on the 14th, and we very much welcome you and Andrew Jernigan to consider joining that with global mobility people. And we're doing other geographic area programs a lot. Okay. And so we certainly welcome you guys to do that. So you sell life insurance also?
That's not really our strength. Our strength is the transactional benefits. We do sell life insurance, but we really concentrate on the medical, the security, and the comfort products. Our issue with life insurance is we typically recommend if you're a global traveler or nomad, you probably should buy the life insurance in your home country, because if you were to die overseas, it's going to be paid to your estate and your beneficiaries back in your home country. So to take that scenario correctly, an expatriate goes to Costa Rica, buys our healthcare policy. They could ask us for the life insurance policy, but I would say you'd be better to just buy it in the US, because if they were to die in Costa Rica, their estate is, and they're American, and their beneficiaries, their family members are back in the US, that they probably would do better buying it in their home country.
So in your product for travel, business travel, leisure travel,
yeah,
is it individual policies, or is there a group?
This is
for a family?
Yeah, this is the great thing about it. It's individual fulfillment. You go to our website, you have two streams. Am I going for trips, either short-term or annual trips, or am I going for a year or more? And so they're obviously they'll be going for a year or more. It's a more comprehensive product. You can insure yourself or you and your family. It's fulfilled through you using your credit card and purchasing a policy. You get an ID card. You get a payment card from us. You'll get access to the InsuredTech platform online. We'll provide you all the support you need. So it's really easy to fulfill. We do believe that there will be more individuals than ever looking to buy their programs themselves. There are even corporations that are saying, we would like to support our consultants, our boards of directors, some of the people that may not be our direct employees with a great program like Insured Nomads. But, there are great group products out there. We have group products, but I think our specialty is really, that individual or that family that says, I'm going to go live in Portugal for the next few years. I'm going to be an adventurer. I'd like to have comprehensive protection, but at the same time, I want to be able to earn monies my own way. I want to have my own control of my own time. I want to be a consultant or somebody who's unique in this space.
So we've been talking with Alan Koski on the East Coast of the U.S. in Delaware. And I thank you very much for being our guest. Give us that website one more time, please.
Yes, it's www.insurednomads.com, all one word, or Google us up, or whatever way you find us will be easy to find. And thank you, Ed, for your time today. I appreciate always having a good conversation with you.
I always learn something from you, Alan, so come back again.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it, signing off. Thank you for being on Global TV Talk Show. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us in the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show.
Have a wonderful day, and stay safe.